Dumelang Bosana, it's your girl Z, aka Zizi, aka Maziki Zoko, also known as Ikona Karabo Zokufa, and what it do, baby? I come back. I hope you guys are all good. Everyone is well rested. Everyone's gathering their rest. Everyone's trying to gather peace. Everyone's trying to strive for happiness and contentment. I hope nothing but positivity, and that we gather a couple of lessons, or a lesson, because I've got a lesson, or something that I've learned from Badimubak, which is we are not dealt the cards that we are dealt for nothing. There's no ways that you're going to go through half of the things that you've been through only for you to lose in the end. I mean, I don't want to say life is a battle. It's a journey more than anything, and sometimes we need to make a couple of stops. Sometimes we need to make a couple of U-turns because we've turned the wrong direction. But it's not for nothing, you know? I mean, half of the failed relationships we go through is for a particular reason. It's for us to get to where we need to get to. And we don't go through failed relationships for mahala. We don't go through financial problems for nothing. We don't breathe the pollution for nothing. I mean, global warming isn't just happening in J&J. We need to wake up, right? We need to start making a couple of changes, a lot of changes actually, for us to get to where we need to, for us to continue growing as people, and for us to become better people. There's no ways in this world. There is no ways in this world you are going to bump into the stranger that you've bumped into, that now has fallen into, that has now become your partner, or an ex now, or whatever it is, just for killing time. No, that's not how life works. There's no ways a person is going to be brought into your life just for being brought into your life. I don't think that's how it works. There's no ways a person, or I was given the father that I was given for the 14 years, only for him to leave as unexpected as he did for nothing. I believe we are chosen, our parents, for them to build who we become, our aunts for us to become who we become, our uncles, our fathers, our grandfathers, our siblings, and all of that. Everyone has a role within your life. Everyone has a role within other people's lives, and the heartbreak we may have caused people, not to say that it's right, but it was meant to build them and bring them closer to where they are going to get to. Me having lost my father built me in so many ways, a lot that I can't even mention. I mean, I was a princess my entire life. Well, my 14 years of living on this earth, I was a princess. If I was to have the slightest period pain, and my dad, having been in my life for the amount of years that he was in my life, it has raised the standards, or it has set standards for the men or the standards I have for relationships, not just men, but the standards I have for romantic relationships. And it has taught me how a woman should be treated, how a woman should be loved, how a woman should carry herself. Or I'm speaking about myself. When I say a woman, I mean me. That was an example of a relationship and what I've learned from that. When it comes to romantic relationships, falling in love with potential, how relationships seem to have failed, there's always a lesson within the relationships we get into. Be it friendships, be it romantic, family, all of that. There's a reason. I mean, with me, I had fallen in love with his potential. That's where I went wrong. I struggled to accept who he was at that given point, and I had fallen in love with where I wanted us to go and where I wanted us to be, and forgetting that there's a process to get to that destination. And it didn't just take BIK for me to learn that. It took Russ for me to learn that, you know what, Mtanam, You need to learn to accept a person for who they are. And yes, you can try to build a person, but you can't force a person. You can inspire them, but you can't force them. That's what I learned from that relationship. And when it comes to finances, oh hell, I'm still learning, guys. I'm still learning. Nobody told me that, guys, when you borrow 5 rand, you must return it as 10 rand. No one told me that. But that's my lesson to learn. And just because you are getting 100 million doesn't mean that your expenses must get to 100 million. You always need to have something on the side. That's one of them. Another thing, learn to invest in yourself. You know, that was what I learned from these financial thingy-majiggies. Learn to invest, but invest strategically. You know, there's a lot of lessons that you can learn from everything. Be it the plants that you see, be it the birds that you see in the sky. There are lessons right in front of you. It's just a matter of how and when do you choose to see it. The heartbreaks that we experience and we encounter, the toxic relationships we may have been in, they were meant to build us. Doesn't mean it's justifying the perpetrator. At all. At all. It's not. But we need to start taking accountability for what we've been through. And I've got a phone call. So as I was saying, excuse me, I was interrupted. I have somewhere to go. This is meant to be a short video anyways. Another thing I wanted to mention was the fact that for me, when I see a tree, I see it as me, where I see myself, where I want to be, where I want to get to. That's what I strive to become, a tree. I want to have roots deeply implanted in my soul, in my heart, to a point where no matter how hard the wind may blow, no matter how hard it may rain, no matter how blazing the sun may blaze, I know that no matter what, I'll be okay. You know, that is what I've learned from trees. How it takes a lot for them to fall down. And even when they do, they still have the roots. You know, when it comes to the plants, they can find themselves back up again. They can grow again right after that. You know, a tree never really stops growing until the roots are plucked out. And that's what I want us to gather from what I'm talking about, or what I've just mentioned, or what Spirit has taught me, that we need to form a foundation. We need to start taking accountability for what we have done and the roles we have played in other people's lives, what roles or what lessons we need to take from the things that have happened in our lives. And for as long as we refuse to take accountability for our actions, we will be running in circles. You'll be taking 1,000,000 steps back and never find yourself taking 10 million forward. You know? And sometimes you need to take those 10 steps back, that 1,000,000 steps back, in order for you to move forward and for you to get to where you need to get to. You know, sometimes you need to take those steps back for you to retrack, reflect, take in what has happened, to recoup, to heal, in order for you to become the better version and the best version of yourself. That's all I had to say for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have taken valuable lessons and have taken down notes, something to reflect on and rewind. I appreciate you guys. Mad love.